news, US President Donald Trump signed an executive order seeking to ban transgender athletes from participating in women's sport in his latest move targeting transgender people since returning to office. All right, so this is a crucial development that is coming in at this point, that the Trump administration has signed an executive order seeking to ban transgender athletes from participating in women's sport. And in his latest move, he is, of course, targeting the transgender people since returning to office. Remember, the number of policies that were in fact made by the United States administration after Trump taken over. One was, of course, that there is going to be only two genders in the United States, that is female and male, and now this is of course in line with that particular policy. That the latest attack that is coming in from the US president, where he has signed an executive order seeking to ban transgender athletes from participating in women's sport, and in his latest move targeting transgender people since returning to the office. Of course, we have to see how the transgender community within the United States are going to react to this particular executive order that has now been signed by Donald Trump. There are, of course, a criticism from the section of the society who are in fact attacking Donald Trump for this kind of decision. Remember, once he took over the White House, one of the decisions that had come from the United States has been that in the country there is going to be only two genders, which is female and male gender. And now I'm joined by CNN News 18's Akansha Swaroop on this broadcast. Akansha, this is in line with the policy that the United States administration has brought in, that there is only going to be two genders in the country. One is, of course, female and male.
Absolutely. Very rightly said, Sherin. And in fact, while he was signing that executive order in the Eastern Room, the US president was surrounded by young school-going girls, and he's gone on to in fact declare that his administration is putting every school receiving taxpayer dollars on notice, because if they let men take over women's sports teams or invade their locker rooms, this is what this is what Donald Trump had to say while he was signing that executive order. He said that you will be investigated for violations of Title IX and risk your federal funding. So he's gone on to in fact declare that the federal funding to all these schools will in fact be cut off. Now remember, under this order that was signed on Wednesday, the federal government funding will be denied to all of these educational institutions that are allowing trans girls and women to participate in female sports and use even their locker rooms. So the order also directs government agencies, Sherin, to promote sex-based female sports categories at various international organizations. This will also include the Olympics. And remember the brouhaha that had taken place last year because of the Algerian sports person.
Yes.
And now, they are also going to convene representatives of major athletic organizations and governing bodies to promote politics that is fair and safe in the best interest of female athletes. That is what this executive order has said so far. But remember, the political opposition parties have already started speaking out. And in fact, LGBTQ rights groups are also condemning this latest executive order that is directed clearly at the transgender Americans. But this is completely on expected lines, as you rightly mentioned right at the beginning, that this was Donald Trump's promise in terms of the gender that he had spoken about. Even that executive order is in tandem with that first executive order, the first few executive orders that he had signed with regard to only two genders, the male and female, existing in the United States. Sherin.
Many thanks, Akansha, for putting all those details into perspective. So this is a very crucial executive order that has come from the Trump side, which bans the transgender athletes to participate in women's sports. Now shifting